Hi, I'm Jennifer and I'm so excited you're here because today we're going to be making my favorite Christmas recipe of the Christmas season. I have a couple special tips and tricks that I use when I make my special homemade no-spread sugar cookies. The first tip is to keep all of your ingredients really cold. I keep mine in the refrigerator until I'm ready to mix them. Keeping them nice and cold helps with the no-spread process. Another special tip I have is to put confectioner sugar down on your rolling mat or your rolling surface. It's otherwise known as powdered sugar. I also like to put my rolling pin in it and dip my cookie cutters in it. That keeps everything from sticking. Instead of having the dry, dull taste of flour on the exterior of your cookies, you could have a nice sweet taste from the powdered sugar. These Christmas cookies are so versatile, you can make them ahead of time, and then you can put them on a plate in the freezer in a zip top bag, and they'll last for months, and they'll stay perfectly nice. You can take them out and thaw them and decorate them. In this bowl, I have 2 sticks of room temperature butter. I'm going to add in some salt and some sugar. This is 1 cup of sugar. I'll have the full recipe listed below so you can easily put this together. I'm going to put the mixer on low. We want to keep it on low and mix it just until it's mixed. Don't be afraid to stop and scrape down the bowl. We only want to mix this on low because we don't want to whip any air into our dough. We are halfway done with our recipe. We have the first 3 ingredients in, and now we have 3 more left, one of which is a very cold egg. I had this egg ready in the refrigerator, and I even put my extract in the refrigerator to keep it nice and cold. This is one of the things that helps the dough from spreading, keeping the ingredients nice and cold. Of course, you don't want to keep the butter cold because it won't mix up. Once again, we'll turn our mixer on low and mix it just until the egg and the extract are incorporated. While mixing on low, I'm going to start adding our flour. I mixed it just till it was all incorporated, and now I'm going to stop and take just a second to scrape down the bowl and make sure everything is incorporated. Then I'll mix it just a couple minutes longer if needed. We'll put the mixer back on low, and when the dough starts cleaning the sides of the bowl, we know it's done. Another way to tell if the dough is done is just take your finger and press into the dough. If it imprints and doesn't stick to your finger, that's another way to tell that it's ready to use. Now we're ready to get rolling out our dough. I have my powdered sugar that I'm going to put down to keep the dough from sticking. I've divided up my dough, and I'm just going to use a small portion at a time. When you're dividing your dough, you don't want to handle it very much. Handle it as little as possible. And I'll also put some powdered sugar on my rolling pin to also help it keep from sticking. The more you handle your dough, the more it could warm up from the temperature of your hands. And when the dough is warm, that's what causes it to spread. So go ahead and just take your rolling pin and roll out just a portion that's big enough to cut a few cookies. I like to have mine about 1/8 of an inch thick. It is so wonderful that once we get our cookies cut out, we don't have to worry about chilling the dough before or after we cut our cookies out. This recipe is so great and versatile, you can completely skip that step that most cookie recipes have. There we have it. Now I'm going to take my favorite Christmas cookie cutter, this large snowflake, and I'm going to dip this in the powdered sugar and get it nice and coated so that it keeps it from sticking. Now I'll just cut out my shapes. I like to go clear to the edges and cut out shapes so that I'm not wasting any dough. Of course, I'll roll it back up and reuse it when I'm done cutting these cookies out. I'm just going to start peeling away carefully the extra dough around the cookies. Just start pulling it away and setting it off to the side. I have a spatula here I'm going to use to lift the cookies. It's nice and thin so it goes under nicely. And once again, I'll dip that in the powdered sugar too. I also have a tray here lined with parchment paper, or you could use a baking mat. As you can see, our edges are nice and clean and crisp, and they'll stay that way throughout the baking process. Let's preheat our oven to 325. So what I'm going to do is just put on some nice big sugar crystals. Let's get our cookies into the oven to bake for 10 to 14 minutes. Let the cookies sit and cool 2 to 3 minutes on the baking sheet, and then you can move them to a cooling rack. As you can see, these cookies turned out just wonderful, and they have a really nice, sharp, clean edge. They didn't spread, and they look magnificent. I am so happy you are here. I had such a wonderful time cutting out all of these wonderful shapes for my Christmas cookies. I'll be all ready for the Christmas season when it gets here. For now, I'll package my cookies and put them in the freezer so that I'll be ready whenever I need them. I am so happy you are here, and I would be so honored if you would hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. That way you'll get notified whenever I have more fun, easy, great recipes. I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.